So today we have the Insta360 One RS Twin Edition. Straight out of the box, we have the camera, we have the 360 lens, we have the battery. It also comes with a little mounting bracket. I bet this is just a little quick release. Yep, so you can just slide this right in, just like that. It's actually really nice to see. I feel like every time I'm using an action camera, I'm just messing around with it, trying to open up the case, and it's always been a little bit of a pain. Super excited to test that out. Looks like we have a lens cover for the 360 camera. That's nice, because if you ever used a 360 camera, you know that they're very easy to scratch since there's a camera on both sides. That's kind of nifty. That's kind of cool. Love these. Can never have too many Insta360 cloths. So to start with, I'm going to test out the 4K 60 and the flow state stabilization while we do a little mountain biking. So let's hit the trails. So I was pretty impressed with the new flow state stabilization. Mountain biking is about as shaky as it gets, so it's crazy to see how well the One RS held up. Again, this is now built in, so none of these clips have any stabilization added in post. Unlike the previous One R, which forced users to use studio software or stabilize with the Insta360 app. I was also loving the new quick release feature on the new mounting bracket. It might seem like a small feature to mention, but it really made a huge difference when I was out shooting. All in all, it was a great first day with the new camera. So the new RS has a 4K boost lens, which now offers 48 megapixel photos and a new 6K widescreen feature that I've been really eager to test out. So I brought the paddle board with me to the beach. So let's go get some shots in the water, shall we? So this is probably a good time to mention that the Insta360 One RS is waterproof up to 16 feet. You don't gotta worry about getting it wet. It's waterproof, it's rugged, it's good to go. I can definitely see this feature being used for like a cinematic B-roll sequence where you're getting a whole bunch of shots and maybe you want to get a sketchier shot where you attach the camera to a vehicle or something, or just putting it in a place where it's liable to get broken. I think this would be a perfect way to kind of dub in some of those shots and use the Insta360 One RS instead of using your main super expensive camera. So the next thing I want to test out is the audio. It's supposed to be a pretty big step up from the previous One R, so I'm really curious to see if it sounds any good. It would definitely be cool to not have to worry about bringing any other camera and getting at least usable footage from a little action cam. So let's give that a try. So this is kind of another cool thing that I love about action cameras. You can kind of just strap them up. You don't got to really worry about them. They're just good to go. You don't have to worry about getting the perfect shot. You can kind of just document your journey. And yeah, it's kind of stress-free. It's a really nice feeling not having to worry about, oh, what if I get my camera wet? What if something happens to it? What if it gets stolen? It's so small, you can fit it in your pocket. I just love getting my camera gear as light and as small as I possibly can. Maybe not as small. I definitely think I prefer Insta360 One RS over the Insta360 Go 2. Even though I have had so much fun with the Go 2, it's such a fun camera to play around with. I just think overall, something like the Insta360 One RS is gonna give you the best all-around experience. So the new One RS has a 21% increased battery from the previous One R. So you can never complain about more battery life, can you? There weren't any days that I ran out of battery before finishing up a shoot, but I was being fairly conservative and planning out most of my shots beforehand to conserve battery life. One thing that I think makes this camera special is the versatility it has with its two lenses. I went from getting POV and vlog-like shots at the gym to capturing 360 shots on the bay right after. You can definitely capture some creative shots with a 360 camera, but it's usually not my top priority. I would argue that I'll be more eager now to capture 360 footage since I don't have to bring a whole other camera with me. I can just simply swap lenses when an opportunity presents itself. Okay, so our final day of shooting with the Insta360 One RS. Today we are going to be testing out the 48 megapixel photos and the waterproof feature. I know I briefly mentioned previously in this video that the One RS is waterproof, but it just didn't feel right not getting at least a few underwater shots. And the beach was just a little bit murky, there wasn't great visibility, so I decided to take the One RS here to Silver Glen Springs, one of my all-time favorite places in Florida. It's so beautiful, the water is crystal clear, you can see forever, so it's really just the perfect spot to go test out the underwater capabilities that this camera can offer, and the photography as well. By the way, it's also spring break, so there's a ton of people here, so don't expect these shots to look perfect. There's definitely gonna be a few strangers swimming in the background. It's gonna be kind of impossible not to get, but everyone's out here enjoying the sunshine, so let's just go ahead and have some fun and see what kind of shots we can pull off underwater. Okay, so here are my final thoughts with the Insta360 One RS Twin Edition. Overall, I think it's a really good camera. I was really impressed with shooting with it. I had a ton of fun with it, and I didn't really run into any issues or problems. I thought the photos turned out incredible, especially for an action camera. The 1/2-inch sensor is great. The flow state stabilization was incredible, and I absolutely love this little 2-in-1 camera. Like I said, I'm not huge into 360, but it can be very convenient and you can get some cool shots with it sometimes, especially for the same price as other similar action cameras. You can get kind of 2 action cameras in one. Yeah, it's kind of cool. I also almost forgot to mention on the 4K wide camera, I just realized this the last day of shooting, but you can set up the camera the regular way where the screen is in the back and you can kind of see what you're doing and kind of hold it like a regular camera, or you can flip this the other way, and now you can kind of have a selfie, kind of like a flip out vlogging screen, which I think is so cool because if you want to capture some vlogging shots, or if you want to take like a group photo and get everyone in it, you can kind of see what you're doing. You can see on the screen what's in frame, what's not in frame. I actually might like that feature even more than having the 360 lens. It's just very cool being able to flip back and forth between all of them. Well done, Insta360. You did a good job on this one. Insta360 also sent me this quick reader. Whenever you connect your Insta360 camera to the app, it drains the battery quite a bit faster. So this is just kind of something they made to bypass that. And speaking of the Insta360 app, yes, you can still connect your One RS to the app and use features like Shot Lab, which is a great way for beginners or amateur filmmakers or anyone who don't really care too much about filmmaking but want to create a cool little edit. Shot Lab will take all your clips and edit a little montage for you and instantly have a professional looking edit with cool effects. So if you're interested in learning more about the Insta360 One RS or you want to buy one, I'll put a link in the description box below. Make sure you check that out. Let me know what you guys think about this camera in the comment section below. What do you guys think about this new action camera? That's all for this week. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.